3, Falstaff Road. We cleaned up the code and we got our architecture that we had in Aberdeen and moved it. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just start over. We cleaned up the code and we got to keep our architecture that we had in Aberdeen and move it over to Bel Air. This was a quote by Joe Snees in a January 7th article in the Aegis when he was asked about those 3 zoning code changes. If that's not a smoking gun, I don't know what is. We cleaned up the code. Last I checked, we did not elect Joe Sneed to be our representative. But you can allow Joe Sneed to come before you and let him change the zoning code to suit the needs of his client is simply deplorable. That our own council representative, Richard Slutton, with knowledge that this development was coming to his district, fully supported those 3 bills without asking a single question is inexcusable. You've let us down. Your role as the county council, a legislative body, is to provide checks and balances on our executive's power. That is government 101. You're failing to do that. Your job is to represent our interest, not Joe Snee and David Craig's, and not the developers. Your job is to represent us. You failed us. To restore the dignity and integrity of this council, you must do the following. Introduce new bill number 1 that resets the maximum building heights of CCRCs to 3 stories. That would keep it under the intended 50-foot height restriction. Introduce bill number 2 that restores the NRD threshold to 30%. Reducing it to 25% serves no purpose other than to benefit this development. Introduce bill number 3 that restores the timed site plan approvals remain valid for 2 years. That's simple. Regarding the issue of building heights, Councilman Boniface, you were quoted in the Aegis as saying, this is not a big deal, it only impacts the drawings that the architects submit. But looking at a 4-story building at your back window, to us, is the equivalent of having jets fly over our house. I believe you were also quoted in the Aegis as saying how jets flying over your house would negatively impact your quality of life. Well, these buildings impact our quality of life just the same as jets flying over your house. I hope you can appreciate that.